Jalen Williams dropped 40 points in the NBA Finals, and it was probably the best performance of the playoffs considering the situation. 2-2, go up 3-2 at home, and let's just dive right into the clips and how Williams carved up the Pacers. And he did it with Isaiah Hartenstein, especially early in the game. They're such a potent screening duo, and love this little early brush screen to clear Nemhard out of the way. And then they go to work. Beautiful little left-hand wrap. And my sweet boy Miles, I love Miles so much. He has not been good in this series, and really slow recovering to Hardenstein, unfortunately. There ends up giving up a bucket. And with the two big lineup, one of the adjustments OKC made was having more Hartenstein on the ball, since if you have Shea or J-Dub or someone on the ball, the Pacers can like sag off both, can usually sag off Hartenstein, but the paint is wide open here. And Hartenstein just feathers a beautiful pass over to J-Dub. Like, that is an absolute laser. J-Dub used to do this way more often. This was a phenomenal driving game for Dub, but also an incredible cutting game, as he used to be a more like high volume, frequent cutter and driver. Like, this is more what he was early in his career before he added weight and became more of like a mid-range shot maker. But notice when J-Dub times this cut, Hallie knows there's two defenders he has to zone for. The second Hallie turns his head and looks to Hartenstein, J-Dub goes. He plants and goes. There's no recovering, and he finishes hard above the rim. And his chemistry with Hartenstein has really helped the Thunder establish a half-court offensive identity outside of just Shai Gilgeous-Alexander going to work, right? And shout out to Hartenstein. This was insane. I just wanted to show this clip. It is technically a J-Dub steal, but this is a Hartenstein clip. Look at him zoning the weak side, and then he's going to close out hard to Aaron Nesmith and cut off the baseline and force a turnover. Like, Williams gets the steal here, but this is an Isaiah Hartenstein clip, man. Shout out to him. He was unbelievable. And again, we have more Hartenstein here fueling great offense, where even in the first quarter when all of J-Dub's shots weren't going in yet, the process was still excellent, as we can see the same three-man action right here. Just a simple delay, right? Pistol into a handoff right here. Halliburton steps up, Dort attacks a closeout, the defense is in rotation, and J-Dub gets a wide open middle of the floor jumper. That's a fine shot, honestly, and Dort ends up grabbing the offensive rebound as well. So not all is lost there. And even early on when J-Dub wasn't scoring like crazy, his process was encouraging, right? Where like he's attacking the basket against the switch. Tony Bradley does a decent job, honestly. You could probably argue a foul. He pulls his hand back, but J-Dub gets all the way to the front of the rim. Would still love him to add more of like a power dribble element to his driving game, especially with like switches on him. I yearn for the point where J-Dub has like the handle and like the lower body strength to just bulldoze defenders like TJ, but still makes a great decision. Kicks it out to Aaron Wiggins. Shout out Aaron Wiggins, man. See, he saved basketball, had a phenomenal game. And if you're enjoying this video so far, consider liking, commenting, subscribing. We're gonna have plenty of content throughout the end of the season and the draft. But another great possession where J-Dub hits, creates a wide open step back, but iHeart gets the board, and he kicks it to Cason Wallace in the corner. So again, more good process offense leading to offensive rebounding chances. Hartenstein was a monster in this game, and we're going to see more and more of him, especially early in this first half. But another great cut by J-Dub, and this is just OKC's early offense. This felt like the most like polished, humming OKC offense of the playoffs, honestly, right? You have Tony Bradley matched up on Jalen Williams on the perimeter, and you could just throw the ball out to J-Dub and trust him to beat Bradley. He probably could, but what's even better is Caruso brushes against Bradley. He can't navigate screens, which lets J-Dub just attack the paint on a cut. Another well-timed, J-Dub obviously kind of realizes this. Hartenstein makes the pass, and he finishes there. So it was really good team offense, especially in the first half, where the Thunder were getting great looks out of their kind of organized, more organized offense. But did you notice the subtle kind of move that J-Dub does right here? they're trying to pass this kind of switch off again, right? Where Miles is containing and drop. He says, hey, Neesmith, go switch out to Chet. I'm going to take J-Dub, right? There's a classic peel, veer back switch. Look when J-Dub goes. Right when Miles is pointing to Neesmith, he gets him on the hesitation and forces the foul right there. So great job using. He was just like surgically precise in this game. His precision was out of the world. And yeah, he hit his threes today. That's big. I mean, J-Dub hasn't really been hitting his threes in the playoffs, as we'll get to, but he hit threes today. And that's all that mattered. Another miss right here at the rim. Great rotation by Halliburton, actually taking away J-Dub's angle and making it a little harder. But again, good process here where to beat the full court press, J-Dub just puts his back foot in the ground and charges to the rim. And it ends up working. The Pacers don't send help early enough. And like I said, Halliburton makes good play. And even though J-Dub doesn't score on that play, aggression like that would be a sign of things to come. Oh my goodness, another disgusting cut. He got Neesmith a couple times in this game where he sets a screen for Shea, and then, on this play you see all the time, Chet comes and sets a screen. It's a little screen to screener action for a mid-range jumper. But Neesmith knows this, right? He's playing it this way. J-Dub's swim move shakes him out of his shoes, gets to the and one. I mean, that one, you've really got to rewatch that one to appreciate the beauty of it. But it is beautiful. I mean, it's just a beautiful cut. Great pass by Caruso, of course. This OKC team, I mean, it's miserable to watch as a Pacers fan because they're so damn fucking good. But it's incredible to watch as just a basketball fan. And we see the J-Dub Shea pairing was just on fire today. Shea also had a cool 30 points or whatever. And it's good that J-Dub's hitting his threes, right? That means it's harder for the Pacers to play their aggressive gap defense on Shea because J-Dub is hitting his shots. And again, good stunt from Halliburton to at least get a hand up there, but it was just one of those nights where Jalen Williams' shots were absolutely going in. And this is kind of area in the third quarter. He really started to push and start being really aggressive going downhill. Again, we see the early offense full court pickup. So the Thunder just, casually set their high ball screen above the half court line. And this is a really effective counter just because, Tony Bradley aside, basically no big can drop all the way back from half court against this forward sprinting player. Easily gets there. Another solid rotation by Halliburton. Swipes at the ball, but I think Bradley ended up fouling him on that play. And we see just 2 or 3 possessions later, J-Dub again using the early screen, and this time he's, oh my god, beautiful left hand finish. His wonky foot finishing is so clean. That's off of his left foot as well. You can see right there. Oh, yeah, it's off the wrong foot, shielding the ball handler. But again, we see an early offense. He's just attacking the ball screen, even at a more normal position. It's not even that normal. Bradley doesn't want to come out to the level of the screen because he can't move like that. But J-Dub's still able to get to the basket and convert the tough finish. And I believe it's the next one. Nope, not yet. J-Dub just continued this aggression throughout the third quarter, throughout the fourth quarter, going at Mathurin, going at TJ, pretty much just pressuring the basket. And this created good results even when he wasn't scoring. J-Dub's handling limitations are going to show up right here. Miles does a good job squeezing it as well as Nembhard, but that rim protection, right? Chet flies in, grabs the offensive rebound. The Thunder were phenomenal on the offensive glass today. This was such a massive shot, but before we talk about that, just want to notice the screening action right here with Shea and J-Dub. Love getting your 2 best players, or your 2 best offensive players at least, right here involved. And they get the switch, which obviously, you ideally want to get to Shea, but J-Dub takes it in. Yeah, Pacers, this was a huge momentum swing that the Thunder were largely able to carry over. I mean, the Pacers came close, but this was the moment, really. Pacers stormed back. It's a 2-point game. J-Dub drives to the hoop. He misses, but again, look what his drive creates. Williams attacking the basket isn't only good for his own offense, it's good for the team's offense. Offensive rebound, wide open 3, pushes the lead back to 5. And then a couple possessions later, we have Williams up top, and he's going to push the lead to 8 here. Beautiful finish there. This is one of my favorite actions the Thunder run. The 3-man action with their 3 best players. I wish they did this more, honestly, involving these guys in kind of a Spanish pick and roll, right? Chet screening. Shea is going to lift right here to hopefully remove Nembhard from the equation. Beautiful job spinning back here as well. Neesmith aggressively chases over the screen, and J-Dub just shakes him with the spin. This is honestly pretty good defense. Like, Nembhard gets him in the paint. Tyrese Halliburton is covering the weak side really well, so the pass back to Shea isn't easy. But oh my goodness, the strength, the balance, to finish through Andrew Nembhard. Just a beautiful play by Jalen Williams. And then he's back to thriving off the ball against Nembhard. Beautiful finish. And these two just work so damn well together. They're a great duo, especially when Jalen is hitting his shots. And yeah, he hit his shots. 3 for 5 from 3. This was the highest free throw attempt game of his career. This is 12 free throws and 13 rim attempts. The only other time he did the 13 rim attempts was, I believe it was, March 29th of his rookie season. So he was getting downhill, was scoring really well, super efficient performance, obviously. Even though, like we said, he hasn't been shooting the three well in the playoffs, sub 32%. He's hitting them when they matter. And again, Nembhard's sitting in this gap, but J-Dub is too good of a closeout attacker at this point. And he finishes. That's not an easy finish by any means, again, but he scoops it in, and it was really just one of those moments. I want to go back to an earlier play. I think it was the first play, to better illustrate the gravity that Shea has without the ball. The way that Indiana face guards him basically makes this 4-on-4, right? And opens up a ton of space where against any other player, Nembhard is sitting in this gap further back, so there's someone to cover J-Dub when he sinks. But because Nembhard doesn't want Shea to touch the goddamn ball, they're playing with 4-on-4 spacing. So really good adjustment again by OKC. Wanted to shout that out. Of course, J-Dub fueled a lot of that. And then this shot was effectively the dagger right here. J-Dub dancing one-on-one against Aaron Neesmith, and no getting to the basket here, just hitting a beautiful step back. That was a perfect cap to a legendary playoff performance. What a damn playoffs for J-Dub. Has definitely had his low moments, but he is a ridiculous player with all the things he can do on defense, developing into a legit star secondary. Like, he's going to be a top 15, 20 players sooner rather than later. I don't think that's a crazy opinion at all. But he was phenomenal in this game. As much as it pained me to watch, it was awesome to rewatch and break down. And I hope you enjoyed it as well. I love you all very dearly.